Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're all having a great day and had a wonderful Memorial Day 3-day weekend. Yay, clapping. We'd love to see any of your faces if you want to share your cameras. I see a lot
I'm working on it.
Awesome. I'm so glad. Oh, hi, Michelle.
I'm eating a little bit, so I'm going to turn off until I'm finished, but I'm here.
No problem. It's a lunch and learn, so I expect people to take their lunches right now.
I feel strangely
Nice to see you,
outnumbered.
Mary, Giselle, Brienne, Karen, Eric and Sandy Weber, and Ula. Awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. So a couple Zoom rules for those of you who are new. Please mute yourself when you're not speaking. We recommend speaker view for presentation. Video sharing is optional, though we love to see all your smiling faces. And please type all questions and comments into the chat. We will have a Q&A at the end where you can ask any questions to our guest speaker. And I will be monitoring the chat, so you are welcome to type any questions into the chat and I can type them out, or our guest speaker is also welcome to engage with you guys and she'll ask questions. You can feel free to unmute yourself or ask for questions in the chat and I'll read them out for you, whatever is easiest for you. A quick update from Autism Tree. We now have 320 brand new families who have joined Autism Tree in 2023. So welcome to a lot of our new families. This is a record. We're already only halfway through the year and we are probably on track to hit the most intakes that we've ever had in a new year. These are brand new families in addition to the thousands of families we already serve in San Diego County and beyond. Autism Tree offers 19 programs, 13 are currently in person all throughout San Diego County. 3 we have hybrid and 3 we have virtual, so people who can join from anywhere. We have 15 upcoming family program events in June. All of our family events are free. All you have to do is RSVP online via our website or reaching out to our team. We constantly recommend you check our social media. We are updating new events every single week. And every month there's new events coming out. We also send a monthly e-newsletter so that you know what's coming up and what to sign up for. Events this week, we are having our Teen Time All Elite Wrestling. This was a fun teen event. Our Teen Time program is for our higher functioning teens who want to do stuff without their parents. So it's a fun teen group and they get to, we have a little chaperone that takes them out to do fun events all over San Diego. So we've gone to movies together. And so this one is to watch an all elite wrestling show because one of our kids is a huge wrestling fan. So we're really excited about that. That's actually happening tonight from 4 to 6. We have our virtual parent happy hour, which is happening this Friday on June 2nd. It's just an hour from I think 6 to 7 or 5 to 6. Got to double check on that. And it's just another way to meet other parents. If you're new to Autism Tree, it'd be great to, connect with new and returning parents that may or may not be in your area and swap resources, swap, contact information. We're a big family here. So that's for our parent happy hours. Our Lego play group, we have this Saturday. I'm really excited. We host them once a month at parks. It's the first Saturday of every month. We provide the Legos. You just bring your kids and they get to we have certain Lego challenges and activities, and they all just get to play Legos together. And we have volunteers there to play with our kids as well. Our adaptive dance classes happen every week. Ages 5 through 10 classes are happening this week on June 3rd, and we host those at Tap Viewer Studios in Pacific Beach. Our we now have 522 impact videos on our YouTube channel. So these Lunch and Learns, 118 of these Lunch and Learns. This is our 119th Lunch and Learn today. Those are all recorded and on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and refer to any resources. I love every single one of our guest speakers. We started these during the pandemic and have just been, featuring guest speakers as a way to inspire people and move things forward and make everybody still feel connected. And our family has grown, all across the United States. We have new intakes in different states all across the country. So these Lunch and Learns have definitely been a wonderful blessing. And we highly recommend you check out. There's also activities for kids to do at home, like ideas for activities to do on our YouTube channel, and a lot more. So I recommend subscribing if you haven't already. And without further ado, I'm going to do the introduction because our executive director couldn't be here today, but she sends her love to our special guest speaker, Katie LeFort. We're so happy to have Katie with us here today. She's a care coordinator at Rady's Autism Discovery Institute. And I will go ahead, and I had such a pleasure of meeting Katie. I really think she's a wonderful resource, and I'm really excited for you all to get to know her. So Katie, I will pass it off to you, and you can, start your Lunch and Learn. Thanks for being here today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's really nice to meet all of you. I'm really excited to be here to share some information about Autism Discovery Institute here at Rady Children's. I have some slides, but if you want to jump in, ask questions throughout, it's super informal. Please feel free. Let me get these slides shared really quick to get started. All right, are you guys seeing the slides? I just have a couple screens, so I want to make sure. Great. All righty, so let me present. So as mentioned, my name is Katie. My title here at Autism Discovery Institute is Child and Family Team Coordinator, but better known as Care Coordinator. I've been working here at Rady's for about a year. It'll be a year next month. I love it here. I work on a great team, so I'm really excited to kind of share what we do and, different things that Autism Discovery Institute provides for families in the San Diego community. But I do want to start with just a little bit of background about me. So I'm originally from the East Coast, more specifically Rhode Island. If you guys are familiar with that area. Back there, my education background is in criminal justice and criminal justice management. I worked in residential settings with adolescent males, and then I went and worked at Bradley Children's Hospital, which is a children inpatient psychiatric hospital out in Rhode Island, and that's kind of when I fell in love with working with the younger kiddos. So I moved to Los Angeles about 5 years ago, and when I got to LA, I started doing ABA therapy with children 3 to 14 years old. From there, I went into crisis intervention, where I worked with children and adults that were all clients of the regional center. So that was my, work background prior to moving down to San Diego about a year ago, which is when I started this job at Rady's. So that's just a little bit background about me and kind of where I've dabbled and the populations I've worked with in the past. So to get into Autism Discovery Institute. So I'm not sure if many of you are aware of ADI or the services we have, but I'm just going to go over kind of what we do here. And our mission is to provide evidence-based comprehensive care and world-class cutting-edge research that will improve the lives of children with autism spectrum disorders. And our mission doesn't just, focus solely on the child. We do really want to work with the families and caregivers and siblings and everyone as a whole to kind of give the child and everyone on this journey the best resources and support we can. Our team here at ADI consists of clinical psychologists, board certified behavior analysts, better known as BCBAs, behavior specialists, care coordinator, and we regularly collaborate with occupational therapists, speech language pathologists, pediatric neurologists, geneticists, and developmental specialists. So our team is very wide and very broad throughout all of Rady Children's. We definitely communicate with others in different specialties just to provide as much support and information as we can to everyone working with the children that come through ADI. And just more specifically to talk about my role as care coordinator. So what I pretty much do is I provide the guidance to and support to families who reach out to ADI or who come or who see anyone on our team. And I also provide that support to the other providers as well. And this is just connecting families with resources or coaching them on how to connect with the school district or the regional center, giving them information about community resources such as Autism Tree, and just making sure that they feel supported and know that they're not alone on this journey. Sometimes I do get calls about families seeking an evaluation and, what are next steps, or someone, I think my child might have autism, what do I do? And kind of guiding them through that initial process. And then I also get the calls and emails about follow-ups on, okay, I have this diagnosis, now what? Where do I start? And, it could be they have referrals or recommendations for speech or OT and kind of how to navigate that system, but also, okay, do you want to get connected with the San Diego Regional Center? Do you want parent support groups? Here's some links to that, or here's some information for that. And really just kind of understanding what this individual family I'm speaking to at the time really needs and giving them the best resources and information I can in order to support their next steps, and kind of just helping them out so that they know that they have someone to kind of lean on in a sense, that can understand what they're going through and also give them that additional support. Are there any questions right now? I'm not really monitoring the chat, so I just want to make sure.
Not so far. You can keep
Looks
going.
good. Okay. So just moving on to a little bit more about ADI. So we offer a variety of services and clinical care. So this can be from comprehensive diagnostic evaluations, evidence-based treatment and intervention, and the care coordination. So right now, ADI has 3 satellite locations, one being in Kearney Mesa, one being in Torrey Hills, which is the one I'm currently at, and then we have one in Murrieta as well. We don't have an ADI office in the main hospital, so we just have these locations outside of it. So to start with the diagnostic evaluations at ADI, this is typically why we do get calls, families seeking evaluations, trying to get that to either rule in or rule out a diagnosis. So just some specifics on the eligibility criteria for ADI is we see ages 12 months to 17 years. We accept some commercial plans. So for insurance, that would be Aetna, TRICARE, United Behavioral Health. And then we do have some self-pay options, as well as some PPOs with out-of-network benefits. Up to 6 years old, we can see kiddos with CPMG, SRS, SCMG, and in the Murrieta location, we do see kiddos up to age 6 that have IEHP. Our current wait list, the estimates for 12 months to 6 years old are about 6 to 9 months, and the 6 years and up is about a 1 to 2 year wait list. Unfortunately, we're seeing these longer wait lists just due to more families seeking these evaluations and wanting, being more educated on the information of autism and, really seeking those evaluations, as well as just staffing in general is always difficult. We don't have too many psychologists on board at ADI right now, just because of demand. And So we do try to get these kiddos scheduled as soon as possible, but we do like to be transparent with families when it comes to the wait lists, because if they do want to seek other options to get an assessment, that is completely acceptable and understandable when it comes to a 1 to 2 year wait list. But if they do want to stay on our wait list, they are comfortable with Rady's system and they want to see a psychologist through us, we definitely acknowledge that. But we also acknowledge that there are other things that maybe families can do in the meantime to bridge that gap while waiting for this evaluation. So that leads to this slide, which is, what to do while waiting for an evaluation. And this is more ADI specific. So we do offer some services at ADI that may not require a formal diagnosis at first. So some of those that are insurance-based are cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, and this is for kiddos 7 years and up. We also offer the peers social skills group, and this is for children teens ages 12 to 17 years old. The regional center, if families are connected with the regional center, their service coordinator can submit referrals for certain programs as well to be funded through the regional center. And that would be parent-child developmental behavioral therapy, better known as PCDBT. And this can be offered to children and teens ages 18 months to 18 years old. And then our Alexis Place Inclusion Preschool, this can get a referral submitted by the regional center coordinator for 18 months to 2 years and 9 months. We do also offer self-pay options for CBT, for peers group, for PCDBT, and for our social skills groups that are ages range from ages 5 to 12 years old. Now, this isn't the only things that we offer, but these are some things that could be beneficial to kiddos while they're waiting for that official developmental evaluation and being on those wait lists. We do also, encourage families, if they aren't connected with the San Diego Regional Center, to, start that intake process as well, or get connected with the school system and see what they can do in the meantime regarding school system and IEP assessments. And then on the side, as you see, care coordination is available for any family, regardless of funding sources. So families can call me at any time or shoot me an email at any time, and I can kind of help with either these services within ADI, or if they have questions regarding anything outside of ADI, but that, is autism focused, such as getting connected with ABA therapy, or, who to contact in the school district to set up IEP services, or, just getting maybe how do I get a referral for a speech evaluation, just kind of giving families that support throughout those different aspects and different services. So my number is on the website, my email address is on the website. I'll provide it at the end of this presentation as well. And families can just reach out at any time, and I'll be happy to, assist and help in any way I can. And if I can't help, I usually try to find the person who best can for families. So some evidence-based treatment and intervention that are offered here at ADI is Project Impact. So Project Impact, which stands for Improving Parents as Communication Teachers, is a parent coaching program. And this teaches parents of very young children to promote their child's social communication skills during daily routines and activities. Project Impact also uses a blend of developmental and naturalistic behavior intervention strategies. We also have the parent-child developmental and behavioral therapy, as I mentioned before, and this is for the kiddos and teens ages 18 months to 18 years. So Project Impact typically focuses on the younger kiddos, where PCDBT can be implemented throughout the child's life and teen years. And this is designed to help parents facilitate social interaction, play, language, and appropriate behavior in their children. And it has specific strategies that are individualized based on the needs of the child and family. So with Project Impact and PCDBT, it is definitely a focus for the parents or caregivers to be involved in the treatment process with the child. And the provider and clinician will work directly with the parents and child throughout sessions, just so that they have the best interactions and the goals are met and are able to be implemented once therapy is completed and in the day-to-day lives of the child and family. Some more evidence-based treatment and intervention provided here at Autism Discovery Institute is we have our social skills groups. So for ages 5 to 12 years old, there's a few different ones that are offered for that age group. We do not offer social skills groups in the Marietta location at this time, so they would be at the Kearney Mesa or Torrey Hills location. I know there had been a lot being virtual options, but I'm pretty sure that that's kind of depending on insurances and things like that, with different COVID restrictions being lifted. A lot of them are in person. So these groups are designed to teach social interaction and engagement skills to children with autism spectrum disorders while equipping families to carry over strategies at home. Individual therapy may be recommended prior to group participation for children with current behavioral concerns, such as verbal or physical aggression. So what that means is just if you have a child who's verbally or physically aggressive, it is recommended that they seek that one-on-one therapy to kind of target those behaviors and have those coping skills and behavior strategies to work with them in order before they join a group, just for safety of the child, the other children, the staff. And then you can move forward with social skills groups if the coordinator believes that they would be a good fit for that group. And the funding is through either the commercial insurance, as mentioned before, or you have the private pay options that are accepted. And then the social skills group for the older kiddos is the peers social skills group, and this is for 12 to 17-year-olds. So I have here to contact the ADI social skills group coordinator to be added to the interest lists. He is the one seen in the picture here. If you have specific questions regarding wait times for specific ages or eligibility criteria, or what the group even consists of, how many kids are in any specific group, you can definitely always just reach out to me and I can pass your questions along to the social skills group coordinator as well, or have him reach out to you directly. That's okay. I do that a lot with families when they do have these questions, because a lot of the times that information can kind of fluctuate and change depending on, like I've gotten a lot of requests for social skills groups now that summer's coming up. So in school's kind of winding down. So different wait times and things may vary. So I always try to redirect families directly to the social skills group coordinator, just because he has those specific answers for you. So one of the other programs that falls under our ADI umbrella is Alexa's Place. Place standing for Playful Learning Academy for Young Children. So this is the inclusion preschool that was mentioned in a previous slide. So they have the Alexa's Place toddler program as well as the Alexa's Place preschool program. So a little bit of background on Alexa's Place. It's a unique early education program for typically developing children and children with or at risk for autism spectrum disorder. They work on improvements in language, cognitive, motor, play, and social skills. It has a particular fit for ASD interventions targeting social communication and interaction deficits. The environment affords frequent opportunities for peer interaction with support of trained therapists. And Alexa's Place is offered at the Kearney Mesa location and now at the Marietta location. So if you do have specific questions regarding Alexa's Place, kind of the same situation with the social skills coordinator, I would suggest reaching out to Alexa's Place directly with those phone numbers or the email address, or you can reach out to me and I can connect you with the best person at Alexa's Place who can answer those more specific questions regarding their program. But this is a unique, inclusive preschool. I do know they have a wait list, at least for the preschool program. I'm not sure what it would be for the toddler program. But this is, a great thing for kiddos to kind of interact with different peers and, get those early interventions started. So I just wanted to touch base. Something we're really proud of here is just positive parent feedback. We do appreciate all feedback, even if it's not positive, but we do like to share some of the parent testimonials that we do get. So just on the first one, so a parent said, this is our second time going through an evaluation, the first time being with another doctor. The ADI psychologist was professional yet warm. She was thorough with her explanations and answering questions. She was patient and understanding. She embodied all of the strengths and traits a parent could ask for when going through this process. So we like to highlight that one because it shows that, this isn't the first time a parent's been going through an evaluation. And we do see families that are either seeking a re-evaluation, whether it be the child had an evaluation at a really young age, and they're just looking for a re-evaluation as they got older and went through some treatments, or they're seeking a second opinion. They didn't really feel comfortable with their first evaluation. So this testimonial just shows that, a parent went through it a second time, and maybe going through a second time could be very stressful for parents, or, confusing, or parents can be unsure. So this just shows that, here at ADI, we do really, want to be thorough with our explanations, and we do want to show parents that we're there to support them and help them with this process. And then the second one is, I wanted to share with you an update about your social skills group. We organized get-togethers for the kids and their families. It was beautiful to watch our children interact and have a great time. We parents also have built a strong connection with what we share, the unique, challenging journey of being a special needs parent. We have these new good friends now, thanks to the social skills group. Your efforts make a difference. We all come together because of you. So we really like this one here at ADI because it does show, how the social skills groups and what the parents and the kiddos learn throughout the groups really extends past working here at ADI, and the interaction with the clinician, with the parent, and with the kiddos can, be seen once they leave and once they move on, but also it shows that the interactions that these kids can make in these groups and how important, socializing is, and keeping that consistency of organizing these get-togethers, as well as, a therapeutic way for the families and the parents to get together as well. So I like that. It just shows that it's a journey for everyone, not just the kiddo and not just for the parents separate, but all together. And just to get this positive feedback that, these families and these kids are taking what they've learned and moving forward. So, what we're doing is helping outside of Autism Discovery Institute and outside of Rady Children's. So those are just two parent testimonials that we wanted to share with you. So here at Autism Discovery Institute, we are, it's fairly new, but the Autism Friendly Health System Initiative is something that we've been working on. We have some great staff really putting a lot of time and effort into this. And what this initiative consists of is the Autism Friendly Questionnaire, the AFQ, which I'll get into a little bit more detail of after, the training, and then the Autism Friendly Toolkits. So our Autism Friendly Questionnaire this is just a quick little snippet of it, but it's a little bit longer, it has a few more questions. But this is used to just help, gather information about the child prior to seeing medical providers. And this gives those providers strategies and help for the visit to go more smoothly. So a child with autism with a diagnosis, this should be available on their MyChart if they have access to MyChart, where the family can just fill out the questions. So some of the questions, as like you see, number 2 is, what is the best way to communicate with your child? So is it verbally? Is it, single word phrases? Is it pictures? Is it writing it down? Do they sign? Do they have a communication device? Do they have some unique, creative other way that they like to communicate? And this just helps, any type of doctor going in and, being able to communicate with the child that's most comfortable for that child and for the family. So other questions, is the child sensitive to noise or light? What are their favorite, videos? Do they like Paw Patrol? Do they like garbage truck videos on YouTube? Do they like to fidget or play with like a squishy ball or Play-Doh? And just having these things available for the kiddo prior to them even coming into a different, office, or children getting blood work, or, anything like that, that can be very overwhelming and stimulating for a child. just to have those resources and that information ready so that when the kiddo does come in, they're automatically either distracted or, you know, they're given their favorite video to watch while they sit down at the table. And with this Autism Friendly Health System initiative, the questionnaire is part of training. So we have staff that are training other staff on, you know, how to work with children with autism and how to, you know, go through that questionnaire and really target what this child needs going into a visit. The training is also extending to external providers as well, just to, you know, really help assist different providers in the San Diego community, as well as here at Rady Children's Hospital, how to work with autistic children and, you know, just the best measures and means to make the visit go smoothly and be most comfortable for not just the kiddo, but for the provider as well, and for that caregiver, knowing that, you know, we know a little bit more about their kiddo going into it, and we have that background knowledge of, you know, what could trigger them, and, you know, try the best ways to avoid, you know, starting up a behavior or making things uncomfortable for that kiddo. And part of that also is the autism friendly toolkits. So these toolkits we do have at Rady, and we do, I know part of the training is kind of teaching others how to make these autism friendly toolkits. So as you can imagine, some of the things that are in the toolkits are, you know, sensory toys. So Play-Doh, the squishy balls, those like ropes that pull in and out. There can be, you know, headphones to help cancel out some noise. There could be weighted blankets. There could be just little toys and trinkets such as like puzzles or just like those poppers or anything like that, that can help a kiddo have a more successful appointment. That can also include, you know, visual schedules or even just like social stories to like what is this visit going to be like, and kind of just walking the kiddo through the steps of the process. So this autism friendly health system initiative really does start with the questionnaire and just really knowing what the kiddo's needs are and how to, you know, best be educated on going into a appointment with a particular kiddo. If this isn't available on my chart, or, you know, families don't have access to it, or they just, I mean, it's technology, so sometimes, you know, my chart messes up or it's not available, providers can complete this with the family at the point of visit, at the start of a visit. And we do always, you know, welcome feedback on the questionnaire, and, you know, what can be taken away, what can be worded differently, just so it's, you know, most user friendly for everyone. And that pretty much wraps up ADI. But I am really open to answering questions. I'm sure there's a lot more that I could expand upon if need be. So please just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will also be sending, just for everyone as an FYI who's new, if you registered through our website for this Lunch and Learn, which all of you should have, we will send out a recap email to everyone with the contact information for Katie, so you can reach out to her directly. And Katie, if you want to share these slides with us, we welcome that as well.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'll go ahead and we have a few questions in the chat. Giselle asked, hi, my son's behavioral pediatrician has requested that our 10-year-old son get a psych eval to give guidance to his ABA service provider. Can you help? We have a Rady CPMG as primary medical provider.
So for a psych eval, that's a different department from what I work through, but I can definitely, if you want to shoot me an email, just with like the more confidential information about name and date of birth of your child, then I can definitely go ahead and get you connected with the right department and kind of how to set up those services. I can also send you external providers as well that do complete psych evaluations in the San Diego regional, the San Diego area. And I can try to narrow that down for the insurance as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, our primary provider, I'm Giselle, by the way. My son is, he'll be turning 11 actually on June 8th.
Okay.
But ACES is his ABA provider,
Mhm.
and he is, his supervisor kind of feels like she's met a wall on a certain, at a certain point right now because of certain behavior that they haven't been able to work through. And you know how they set up goals and everything. So once he meets his goals, we get a report and they let us know. And right now they're at that point where he's having some certain issues that she doesn't know how to work with. So Hillary Bowers is our behavioral pediatrician through Children's Primary Medical Group. And she's met with, we had a coordination of care, and we met with her and my ABA supervisor and my son's ABA supervisor. And then she's asking, so Hillary's asking for her to get a psych eval. But the thing is, I've talked to other professionals as well, like in ABA and a speech therapist, and they thought that the actual company should have a psychological evaluator there. I think BCBAs are trained to do that.
I can't speak on that specifically just because I'm not sure how each provider works and what they, what the requirements are for hiring. But I definitely have, information on external providers that complete psych evals, as well as I can get you the information for the Rady outpatient psych department as well.
Does your company provide ABA services as well?
So our ABA services, we don't do anything, in home. Everything would be in clinic. We have, like, as I mentioned, the PCDBT, which is the parent-child program. That's kind of considered ABA. It's like a, step into ABA is what we like to call it. We don't have anything like ABA specific.
Okay. And your email was on the website or on the chat?
It was on the slides, yeah. It's autism services at rchsd.org.
rchsd.org. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was having problems with my video and I didn't realize you have to have unlock it or something.
No worries.
That's why half of the panel, I was like, oh, they can't see me. Well, thank you. I appreciate
no problem. I'll look for your email.
I have a quick question. Sorry, I'm not Ula, I'm Deborah.
No worries.
Okay. How does your parent-child program compare to, say, Project Impact, which is what I specialize in?
So the parent-child program is more, we see typically more like the older kiddos working with the parent. So it's, just targeting the goals of not so much a toddler, but a child growing up or a teen, and working with the parent on like what specific goals the kiddo wants as well as what the parent wants.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I just wondered if it had similarities.
It's similar, but it's just what I see a lot more here through ADI with like an older age group.
Right. Different population. Okay. Well, thank you.
Can I have about a minute? I'd like to address the lady that had the issue with the proceeding. I did discrete trial training, and I work for the same company that she's with right now. And the one thing that I found was that too many therapists are so focused on the program. I took a different tack. I'm relationship driven. I established that relationship first. I let the client dictate to me the pace as well as the tenor of the proceeding. So one day I'm sitting there, I'm talking to my kiddo, and dad is sitting on the couch, and he paid me biggest compliment in the world. He says, "You're different." And I go, "Whoa, what do you mean I'm different?" He said, "You're therapeutic. The others were not, they're mechanical." That's all I have to say.
Oh, that's really sweet. Thank you, Jim, for sharing that. I'm curious. So are you still active with patients? Are you still treating?
No. Quickly, I ended up in education, and I started just as a regular educator. And pretty soon, my clientele changed and the tenor changed. And so pretty soon I said, what's going on? Well, in case you haven't noticed, you have a specific talent of relating to the kids. So from now on, you're a special ed guru. I said, okay. Henceforth, you will get all the difficult cases. You know what? They were no more difficult than any other case. It's a matter of approach. It's a matter of validating your kiddo and let the kiddo know you're no better, no smarter, no older even than they are. It's almost a peer-to-peer interaction. And sometimes the parents kind of look, but when they see the kiddos relax with you, they'll mellow out after a while anyway. So I've been a rebel all my life, so sorry.
I would love to keep in contact with you, Jeff, and invite you to some of our maybe virtual parent mentor events.
Let me give you a little bit of my background, okay? I have a number of degrees, which absolutely means nothing, and a little piece of paper with your name on it, which basically says you're not a qualified idiot. But I have a bachelor's, a master's in psychology, but my most important training has been in psychology, applied behavioral analysis. I have a master's in that too. Now, I have met many BCBAs that were not psychologically trained, but they were like teachers or came from other directions. And the problem is, from my perspective, they didn't have the depth that is needed to work with special ed kids, to work with autistic kids, to work with ADHD kids, to work with kids that will, shoot your head off if they have the chance. It's a subtlety there, and unfortunately, I'm originally from California. Too many teachers are locked into the program. I'm being judged and on how many kids will pass the test. So what happens is teachers teach to the test rather than to knowledge and retention. I'll give you one thing. So I had a big argument at one time. I said, okay, with the chief honcho of the middle school, I'm saying, here's your choice. I'm a teacher. I present the program, and I'm so successful every time I present the program. Now you test them, and you find, guess what? You have 5% retention rate. Now I come in as the therapist, and I don't finish the program. I only cover 50 or 60%, but I've got an 80% retention. You pick.
I feel like you could have your own lunch and learn.
Frankly, I'm retired. I went through some horrendous back surgery. I'm originally from California. I'm in Wichita, Kansas right now. Oh, what am I doing here?
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And I'm looking for a volunteer job. Money is not my game. As a matter of fact, when I interview and they talk about money, I said, whatever you can afford, I'll let you be the judge. I'm sure you pay me a decent, fair wage. But if you believe that I'm here for the money, you tell me there's the door, get out, because I'm the wrong person. I'm here for the kiddos, and I'm a child advocate, and I will fight you and the teacher if I feel that the child is not getting its dues. So you have to put up with me.
Autism Tree exists because of people like you, Jip. I love that. I mean, that we're all about the heart connection that we have with our family. It's a very personal relationship that we develop.
Maybe you are. A lot of it are in for the money,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
I want to make sure that we have enough time to answer other people's questions.
I'm sorry, I'm
Wait a
done.
minute.
I'm done.
I would like him, I would like to see him come to Eric's Lunch and Learn on July 5th. He's speaking to the way I had to work with my son, and I appreciate that. There were no programs, just
Yeah.
in relationship.
Oh,
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you. I'm so excited to connect you two. We'll do that offline. Okay, so I want to get to the other questions. Marina
Sure.
said for Katie, for the Teen Impact program, does that require insurance or the teen and behavior help?
So are you asking about the parent-child development behavior training, the PCDBT? So for insurance, you can do insurance. That can also be referred through the San Diego Regional Center if you're a regional center client. And typically the regional center clients, I believe it's a little bit of a shorter wait list than going through insurance, but I could be speaking out of turn on that one. But there is a wait list. I'm just not exactly sure what it is for PCDBT. But that is a way you can always request the referral through your regional center coordinator. If you want, you can email me and I can give you the specifics on where that can either be faxed or emailed to directly, so that it's a faster process for you.
Awesome. And you answered the question for the next parent. She said,
Okay.
Violet said, is there a wait list for PCDBT? And her daughter has regional center. She's also interested in the social skills class, but you don't accept CHD. So maybe in the future on that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, for social skills, that would either be insurance or self-pay. But PCDBT, same thing. If you want to reach out to me, and I can give you like the step-by-step process on how your regional center coordinator can get you referred here at ADI, then just let me know and I can help you with that.
And Violet, I will definitely welcome you to bring your daughter to some of our Autism Tree events. That'd be really fun. Okay, Marina says, oh, does that go through insurance? You answered that. Okay, so Maria is asking, my son was diagnosed with autism a little before 3. He's 9 now. I have wanted to reevaluate him just to get a second opinion, and because I feel he was too young at the time of his diagnosis, but don't know where to start or who to go to. Could you guide me on where to start, who to go to, or what my options are? Thank you in advance.
Yeah, so same thing, I would say email me just with a little bit more specifics on your kiddo. But as I mentioned, I'm not sure if people jumped in later or not, but our evaluations for kids over 6, there is about a 1 to 2 year wait list. So if you're not, if you want it much sooner, I can definitely try to get you connected with external providers that do assessments in the San Diego area, as well as, you know, just other options that you may be interested in. So definitely shoot me an email and we can kind of talk about specifics more about your kiddo.
Awesome. And Marina said, are you familiar with Brain Balance?
I've heard of Brain Balance. I've checked out their website a few times and met some people at some events, but I can't speak on Brain Balance really. Did you have any specific questions on that, or was it just something you were curious about?
And Marie,
Well, I just want to say, I mean, I feel as though, like, you know, they make a lot of claims, and I feel like it's one of those things, if the claims were true, then you think they would get some kind of medical approval to where they would take insurance, because right now insurance doesn't cover it because it's not, like, it hasn't been documented. It hasn't been, so all these things, like, I'm assuming what happens at Rady's is, you know, clinically proven and has trials and literature written on it, where their stuff is claims and anecdotal, and, you know, you think they would do the research papers and the research trials to get themselves accredited so that they could then fall under insurance. But other saying that their pricing it's just, I mean, it's only through, I mean, it's all pay. I mean, there's
All
no
self-pay.
insurance, there's no insurance that will take it. And I find that's so kind of heart-wrenching, because that means only wealthy people can treat their children, you know, and that doesn't make any sense. But it
Yeah.
sure be interesting to know what you guys do in your clinical settings to what they do, and if they're similar, or if they're a completely whole new set of ideas, and how that could benefit, or it's not, you know, or if it's just snake oil, you know what I mean? That type of thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting question and point that you brought up, just kind of comparing, you know, what they do to what we do, and, you know, how is it different and what's the benefits of it. That's definitely something I can bring to, you know, my manager and, you know, different people on the team, and kind of pick their brains about that, because, you know, I'd be curious to know that as well.
Yeah, maybe we can all hop on a Zoom call, because I think I've had somebody like reach out to me from Brain Balance before, and if we feel like something of value comes out of that, then maybe we can share it on a lunch and learn, our future lunch and learn with our community. Marina, thanks for bringing that up.
I would say one more thing to that is, from what I understand, from what people I do know that have been actually in the clinic, is that it's, you know, it's a technique that's been provided, but they basically give it to not necessarily any credited people to then execute the clinical stuff that they do. So even though it may be thought of it or tried on a, you know, clinical basis, the people that actually taking your child in and working with them, I'm not sure what kind of accreditations they have.
Mm-hmm. It's a valid concern, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we only want to provide people that we vet to protect our families and not give out just any information out there. So it's definitely something to look into that we can. Okay, Michelle says, I wonder if they take self-determination funds. Can you expand on that, Michelle? Are you there?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking with Brain Balance and other companies like that, that, you know, may end up having useful programs. If you're enrolled in the regional center's self-determination, it might be a way to have self-determination funds pay for it if it's an unmet need and there aren't any other options. I don't know how many of you are familiar with self-determination, but I'm just getting started with my daughter, who's almost 18, but we're excited about it. I know it's going to be a long process to get everything up and going, but when you brought up this Brain Balance, it made me think about, you know, there's other therapies and activities and things out there that maybe self-determination could provide funding for.
I would love for you to speak more on that, on the self-determination aspect, because we've actually had, you know, we've been around for 20 years and we have a lot of families who are looking into that. And a few of them have gone through it and I think it would be lovely for you to speak more about your process of what that's like.
Well, you know what would be better is if you got regional center or even someone from the Exceptional Family Resource Center. They those folks are, you know, because I'm not an expert. I'm just doing a lot of research for my own kid and getting involved. And, you know, I've always been involved in this community in different ways, and so I definitely don't. All I know is what I'm experiencing so far, but there's a lot of experts out there, and that would be a really valuable lunch and learn or webinar, because there's so many cool things you can do for your kids through self-determination. And, you know, it's all paid for by regional center funding. And so even the facilitator who helps you draw up your plan gets paid by them. So there's like no out of pocket for the families, but there could be a lot of opportunities for, you know, for different programs and growth, you know, with your kids besides. And it has to be, you know, things that the public schools won't give, won't supply us services, but you know, it's really interesting, and I see a couple people nodding their heads like they're familiar with self-determination, and you know, everyone has their own experiences, but it seems like a really great thing for our community for sure.
I'm not, so it's a separate thing, but the regional hooks you up.
Yeah, it's so first you watch an orientation, which is a couple hours long, but it's always interactive and very interesting. And then you tell your coordinator you want to enroll in self-determination. And then you hire, you find an independent facilitator, and they have a list of people they can give you as recommendations. You come up with a person-centered plan with your child, and then a budget and spending plan. And if you have a good facilitator, they can go back and argue with regional center about funding requests that you have. Because the regional center will say, well, we're going to start with what we give you right now, which for most of us is just some respite hours. But yet we need, my daughter wants to volunteer and I work full time. Can I hire somebody to take her places? Those kinds of things. There are unmet needs that you can argue for and get paid for through self-determination. And there's people who have, probably kids who have a lot more needs, who have, $500,000 a year in their budget, and some might have $10,000. So, if you find a good facilitator, they can help you access the funds that you need for your child to succeed. So it's really interesting. I guess the state of California piloted the program a few years ago, and it was a lottery, but now it's open to everybody. And most states have something like that, but I feel like ours is the best from what I've heard from others. And then different regional centers are better than others, but I think San Diego has the most enrollees, and seems to have a lot of good coordinators that are experienced with this program and all the ins and outs.
Mhm. I love everything you're saying about this, Michelle. I could tell. I feel like you would actually be a really great Lunch and Learn speaker because of all the research that you've done. And I think it's nice for parents to hear from other parents, instead of, obviously it's different hearing it like a personal story, than from the expert, which we actually have had Lunch and Learns with the regional center and
EFRC.
Yeah, EFRC actually just came on last week.
Well, what might be useful is, I'm still early in the process, but, there's folks like, Chantal Cecil Kira, who, Jeremy's in self-determination, and others who have been in it for a longer period, folks that did it when it was a pilot, and then folks that have entered new right now, because I'm just like in the beginning stages, but it could be useful to maybe have, a few parents with different age children with different experiences in self-determination. And I've attended other webinars where it's just people who are curious about self-determination, and then they have speakers that come on and talk about it. But sorry to sidetrack all this, but it's great for us to all share things. There was more out there when my kids were born. I have an almost 20-year-old and an almost 18-year-old on the spectrum, and there were just beginning to be things. And I think they were both screened at Rady's before it was called the Discovery Institute. It's been so long now. But I feel like the most important thing that we all need as parents of special needs kids is the connections in the community, because so many of us all have different ideas or things we've tried and we could recommend things like online. I've told parents about, did you know at the San Diego Zoo, you can get a membership with an attendant pass so that you or a caregiver can go to the zoo for free with your child, or your young adult, and, things like that. Like, in Legoland, you can go to guest services and ask to get a pass so you can get in on the rides on the exit, so your kiddo doesn't have to stand around for an hour. So there's all these little things that people like to, can share with each other. And that's, I think, how we all uplift our kids and find out about things is the community sharing what they've learned, and great organizations like Autism Tree and Exceptional Family Resource Center and countless others that are involved in this community have really made it so that we have a lot more options.
Mm-hmm. Well, Michelle, I want to sidebar with you. It's okay if I send an email to you?
Sure. Yeah.
I'd love to set up a meeting with you and our executive director, and we can discuss a few ideas. I love that idea of having a self-determination like Lunch and Learn that has a few of our experienced parents, because I'm very familiar with Chantal and so
yeah.
I think it'd be great. We can have set up a few and
Sure.
to be on it and be involved. And this is so wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm happy to help. There's one more thing I'll mention. UCLA's Tarjan Center, TARJAN. They have a YouTube channel where they have tons of webinars on everything from childhood therapies up to adults entering the college system. and their webinars are excellent. And they record them all, and they're all on their YouTube page. And that's a really great place to find different things that are going on.
That's awesome. We'll include it in our recap email.
Yeah,
Sounds
I appreciate
good.
you bringing that up too, because those are kind of the resources I give families when they're asking. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I recently discovered them, and I've been attending their webinars, and even I work at a community college and giving the webinars to the folks that run our student access services, and they're finding out all kinds of great things from UCLA. They're really doing a lot of great work.
Oh, this has been so wonderful. I'm so excited. I mean, this is why we have our lunch and learns each week. It's a time for us to really connect and throw around ideas and what will be most beneficial for our community and our new parents. So thank you. Thank you all for being on this. Katie, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to our community, Katie. Like we are so our love, thank you for helping and just hopping on here, and all the love that you give to the families that you're already working with. And yeah, thank you everyone. This has been a wonderful lunch and learn. I love it.
Thanks all.
Quickly,
Oh, before we leave, I'd love to have a picture, a group picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get the hair up.
You want to share your camera?
Michelle,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
let me plant a seed.
Okay.
Yes.
There's an expression in psychology. It's called the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, yes.
If you tell your kid he's autistic, and I hammered it, he will be autistic. I'm the grandfather of an autistic grandson who was nonverbal till he was 5 years old. I have never treated him as autistic. If he wanted to mow the lawn, he mowed the lawn, and I talked to him like a normal human being.
Oh,
If he did a good job and he needed money, I gave him $40 here. Now, but you know what? That is building character rather than saying you can't do it. Yeah, you can do it. And sometimes you just have to back off. Don't get out of sight, but just stay in the background.
Yeah, and I'll add something onto that too. There is also something to be said for young adults embracing their autism and having pride in their neuro differences, let's say. And I try and instill that in my older son, where he's always like, "Oh, I can't do this. I'm not doing this well because of my autism." And I'm like, "No, it's your autism is your superpower. It's there's pride in the autism community." And I think that's also another message when the kids become aware of who they are and why they're a little different from their peers, just instilling this sense of pride.
Autistic individuals, you have to dig, and you have to dig deep, and you have to peel away all the layers of the onion. But somewhere in there, believe me, and I'm convinced of it. There's a
Absolutely.
genius.
Absolutely.
I love that you're joining us from Kansas. Okay, let's take a group.
Oh yeah, you're running late.
We all agree.
All right, just smile at the camera, everyone. Ready? 3, 2, 1, cheese. Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.